Welcome, welcome. Jamming. Boom. We should be rocking, live streaming. We are ready, set, launch. We are indoors today with my friends here. Crystal Skull Metatron is jamming with us on our meditation this morning with purpose and intention. Our theme today, our meditation is actually going to be to sync up with the Metatron and have a chat about codes, connect to our codes. Each of us has individual codes that are here. There are Metatron codes, essentially. Meta meaning the highest expression, Tron meaning your choice, right? You as the decider, the balancer. And while that's a very modern way, if you will, or literal way to look at the name Metatron, it's also true. And I think I love how the synchronicities always come together. So Metatron, as we connect with it, as all of you know, is ultimately connecting us to our divine path, to our purpose, more importantly, to the highest spiritual expression. So we're going to be dialing that in today. You know, I prefer experiential to being able or giving you a lot of the details and the facts and just let you feel it and sense it. We're also going to be weaving into the different types of energies, as though if your body is being run by the Meta or the Metatron, what's being run, right? Like, what are the different codes, if you will, that are being governed, or the different expressions that are being governed by your different codes? And so we're going to sync up with those specifically today to really kick off our week, right? To really kick off our week, get centered, get through some of these last little hiccups that we are experiencing. Of course, it's always in divine timing. Poured rain this morning. It was soaking wet, and I knew this was our theme, and it got me to come back inside with Crystal Skull Metatron. So pulling from a little bit different juice today, being indoors, but also with the Crystal Skull. So excited to kick it off and get going. Who's ready? Nice deep breath in. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Welcome, welcome to those of you that are just coming in now. Again, another nice deep breath in, closing your eyes and allowing your sense of inner vision to settle in, as though when you exhale, that inner vision is just dropping all the way down from the high mind energy all the way down the spine, as though we're dimming the lights, like a dimmer on a light switch. So again, taking another breath in, feeling that dimmer elevated all the way up to the top of the mind, sensing the golden light of the sun starting to come in, and then rolling that down, not quite down the spine, somewhere in between the spine and the throat, right? There's a stream of energy right in the middle there. And if you're very subtle with it, continuing this exercise, keep breathing in. I'm going to keep talking. If we're very subtle with it, you may even feel the energy of the two channels of the feminine and the masculine coming down, as though we're running that dimmer down the feminine and the masculine channel. And just keep breathing, running that dimmer, raising up to the golden light, and then running, imagining that dimmer dropping all the way down. You should be at about your heart space now. You want to go intentional with this. You don't just want to drop the dimmer quickly. We really want to allow ourselves to wake up that inner sensory perception, height of mind, and dropping all the way down again. And from about the belly button now, and on the next inhale and exhale, really feel that dimmer dropping down to, I wanted to say drummer, which is root chakra, right? We hear that drum beat. So as you come into that root chakra, imagining that switch hitting what is seemingly the bottom, just take a couple breaths here and find that pulse. in your sitting bones, in the root chakra, the heartbeat, that point of connection, breathing in and out, doing amazing. All right. And now, as you continue your breath, nice, deep, deep, deep inhale and exhale. We're going to go back up to the golden light. Run that energy up. Imagine the sun now, full blast, as though the light, opposite effect. It wasn't that we were dimming, it was that we were dimming the noise and the density in the body. So imagining now the light filling all the way up as though a spotlight is shining down this path straight into your root chakra. Straight into the root chakra. You've got it. And imagining those two like figure eights crossing over each other, creating a helix, those two channels, masculine and feminine channel, feeling them illuminated in that golden light, like two golden cords, left side, right side, crossing over in and out between the chakras. Beautiful. And now landing in the root chakra, and we are going to run the dimmer down again. This time, though, flip it. When we come out of the root chakra into the earth, oftentimes it's inverted. So it's almost like imagining stepping on the other side of the wall of where that dimmer switch is. We're going to run it down, but it's going to run differently. I want you to just play with it. Feel what that feeling is. Feels like density. That left and right channel is there. There's also a main power cord representing your tail. So just as we're starting to pull that switch, as though now it's almost like we're clearing, like pulling the blinds down off of the window. Imagining pulling all the way down, all the way down. Again, let's take a couple of breaths here. Breathing in and out. All the way down. And interestingly enough, it feels like everyone has a window. We're pulling the blinds down. Now I want you to pop that window open and jump through it. Jumping through the window. Beautiful. And swan dive out of the window down into the crystal quartz. Yep, we're going crazy. Fantastical. You can imagine you swan diving off a cliff into the pool. However you get there, you could cannonball for those of you that are a little more adventurous. Take that dive. Beautiful. Off you go. Love it. And plunging, 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 and splashing into the cool energies of the center of the earth. Really drinking all of this up and in, allowing yourself to just kind of bob, if you will, just be buoyant in the luminescent energies of the crystal quartz. Allow the energy to sync up, so it may take a moment. Beautiful. So we are running here two different energy bodies. Notice how we were in the golden light, connecting to the golden light, and then we dove into the pool, almost detaching from ourselves. We were not using our body to run that cord down. Well, we did initially, but then as soon as you did that dive, feeling yourself going, we are activating our earth chakra and also the dimensional consciousness that manages our grounding mechanism. So think about that for a moment, that you have a type of consciousness that manages your grounding mechanism. And if we were to superimpose the Metatron over that, the Metatron would be the highest expression, or the CEO, if you will, the Chief Executive Spiritual Officer, that, or guide, that and consciousness, it's all of it, right? That is running all of these different energy bodies. In a moment, we're going to astrally project, to use one term. Really, we're just jumping into another temple and another energy body, a consciousness that is guiding our energy field. And all of these archetypes, if you will, all of these different aspects of our energy body, we have multiple layers to the energy body. They are run by codes. They're run by codes where that essentially are dictating and guiding your field and how you relate and connect to your field. So as we connect to the Metatron, we're metaing our codes, right? The Metatron code is what is the highest code you can run. If you are like an iPhone, you do not want to be running coding for a version 6 on your iPhone 15. Not going to work. And yet, that's what we're up to most of the time. And within these different layers, within the multiple layers, we have different aspects and expressions that need a directive. And that directive comes from the blueprint, it comes from the Metatron. So in a moment, we're going to be connecting with it. You may even have started to sense some of those other dimensional layers. You also have an energy center that is running your karma. Think about that. It is not the same consciousness that is running your grounding, even though the two, as you can imagine, are very closely connected, right? Because oftentimes our karma or inherited experiences and energy from the world around us and timelines that we are existing on is ultimately out of whack, right? It is unbalanced unless you're doing the work. So these two sync up. As you ground, it expands your bandwidth to help create more resources for the pot consciousness that's running your karma. Beautiful. We also have a healing aspect to ourselves. And yes, we all can relate to that because most of you are healers here. But for those of us that aren't and don't self-identify, let's say, with being a healer, actually, no, I think everybody for the most part can. But what I want to have you connect with here is that aspect of your energy body. And now coming into your body, you may feel, as I speak about these different codes, you may feel different layers. As though when I say you're healer, you may feel like a pinging, a lighting up, maybe 6 inches off of your field. As though you see a glow of light. Your hair, the hairs on your arms may stand up. And you may feel a current running from your heart. Notice how all of these are running with heart-based coherence. This is heart intelligence. And this heart intelligence gets to be curated. We do not spend a lifetime curating heart intelligence. We spend a lifetime in our Western culture, especially curating the mind and the analysis and the strategy. And in this stage of our lives, as we connect to the Divine Mother and the crystal quartz, feeling yourself not only grounding, feeling her taking on your karma, because your karma is her karma. Your experience is her experience. We now feel and move into that healing field. The Divine Mother, the earth is our field of healing. It has the genius codes within it. We're going to talk about that genius within you in just a moment, but part of that genius is your capacity, your body, to be able to run simultaneously multiple systems, tracking with the stars, all those quantum principles of quantum correlation, right? Tracking with the stars, tracking with someone over in the other side of the world, their thoughts and their consciousness, by locating as you speak on the phone and exist wherever that phone call is, as I exist in each of your specific rooms and environments. Beautiful. Feeling that healing energy pouring in. And truly, it's just you handing off all of the weight and the density and allowing the earth to manage it. And allowing that golden light to also flood in and create that connection. Your code of healing. And each of us has specific codes. We have different aspects that ignite. We aren't just healers, we have mechanisms for activating that healing capacity. And so your genius is another aspect, as well as your mystery or your gifts. Your genius is what you're refining. It's those moments of brilliance when you feel just pure synchronization, when you feel that quantum field activating. I know all of you are starting to feel it right about now, because it is, as everybody's releasing and allowing that healing field to work, that genius is turning on. So your vision may be flooding out in pure white light. We're activating the superconscious now. Another aspect of our energy fields, this is where the Metatron starts to come in. Notice we get a consensus in our soul's boardroom, bringing all of these centers together, and boom, off we go. Ah, nice deep breath in, letting your body relax at a bone deep. Your genius is when you are channeling, when you're just getting the hits, when you walk into the room and allow your field of energy to work its magic. Your mystery and your gifts are what you already know. It's what you were born with it. You just know what you know, what you know. It's less about the channel and more so about just the knowingness. One is a transmission, the other is a beingness. Maybe you know healing codes. Maybe you know relationship and people and how to put them together. Or maybe your genius is relationship and people. The genius is something we curate, whereas the magic and the gifts is already just inherently there. That's probably the best distinction. Both can be refined and honed, but your genius is where you're going to feel most alive. So your genius may even be like the executive, the not your operations person, but the actual executive. Like it's very closely correlated with the Metatronic field. Your magic and your gifts, that's closely correlated to the Divine Mother, right? What's stored and programmed into your DNA as you vibrate in that frequency. Again, we all have unique codes. Some of us, it's truth, right? Some of us, it's cutting edge consciousness. Others, it's vision. Others, it's healing. All different kinds of codes. That these archetypes, if you will, your soul board excels at. All right, moving on. We're getting into some action codes now. Action and intuition, turn them on, turn them up. Communication, feeling your intuitive senses, feeling that part of your energy field. This is truly that feminine channel. So as you turn it on, you may feel a pulsing in your left foot. You may feel an activation top right side of your chest. That's kind of for the physical body where that channel is running to. And as you feel it, you may feel your intuition, like your sound, like the ability to hear the heartbeat of the earth or blades of grass growing or the wing beat of a bird outside or family member or a partner or your kids, and thinking hearing them thinking, hearing their field. Or maybe it's a pet's field. You can hear fields of energy make sounds. Fields of energy can be so powerful when they're in perfect alignment, can create their own atmospheres. Think about that. When we're controlling the elements, which if you're here, you have, just show up in a Metatronic space and not be controlling the elements. You are in your genius and you are running an atmosphere. You are running because that atmosphere is based on frequency. And when your frequency becomes the dominant frequency, it's nobody's business. You are your own autonomous unit. The Metatron is in full force and activation. We're getting closer to that Metatron. We just ran intuition. We're making, do you feel that shift of how the intuitive, everything I just spoke about is the intuitive, that feminine side being able to run the field of energy in the environment. Notice that correlation. All right, and now shifting to the masculine, your outward expression. Everybody, every single one of you knows this one. This is the knee jerk, right? We are conditioned and trained in this one. So this is like, they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That's where we all get to turn the volume up on our intuition so we can turn the volume down and teach that old dog of your masculine energy and those deeply ingrained and rooted channels and patterns of circuitry and muscular and emotional response, all of it. You are used to the masculine being the head executive, the chief that is running the show. And when we're running Metatronic consciousness, they are nothing more than your COO. And they are partnered. It is a conjoined role between the masculine and the feminine. And if we can create that perfect partnership between those two, you have your sacred marriage, you have the intelligence and the wisdom, as Christ said, of the mustard seed, and you have heaven right here. So for most of us, it is getting this masculine energy to collaborate, to trust. It has its own specific field, its own specific agenda. So oftentimes knowing that specific code for your masculine energy and what it is seeking, what is its core Metatronic governing code, is what you are up to. Ah, beautiful. Communication. We never want to communicate exclusively from the masculine or from the feminine. For those of you that have that anger that rises up, it can be both masculine and feminine. And anger serves until it doesn't. We've all been there, right? Communication. What is communication in the masculine sense? Is what you are speaking. Communication in the feminine sense is what you are tuning into and what is the signal you are putting out and what are the filters through which you are interpreting and hearing. How many of you have had a reading and then gone back and heard it totally differently? Oftentimes, if we're getting a reading, we're hearing it through the masculine filters first. And then when we listen again, we hear it through that feminine filter. Again, these are all our interpersonal codes that we're running in here. You have archetypes that are governing them. And as we come into our codes of miracles, I think we've hit them all. Oh, our sourcing, of course, our sourcing codes. Well, that's the signaling that's being put out, right? Where do you come alive? Do you resonate with people who are cutting edge? Do you resonate with truth tellers? We all have different codes. Do you resonate with people who are warriors? And you can feel that fire burning. Go ahead and take a nice big stretch here because we are shifting fields. Everybody should have just felt it or you're about to feel it coming on because we have just called the consensus of our boardroom. And that Metatronic frequency is igniting and activating. It is time for the miracles. Your beautiful consciousness that is running the field of miracles, feeling that energy swirling in as though a vortex has just opened up, as though you're sitting in your boardroom, gazing up to the heavens, and a flash, a spark of lightning comes in, and before you is the Metatron. It is this coherence between all of these different aspects of your codes and the archetypes that are running these codes, that are controlling these different functions that I just spoken to. Each of you has unique ones, and it is this Metatronic field. Breathing in and out. Just let your mind glide. Don't try to interpret or analyze. And so you may wonder how Crystal Skull Metatron fits into this or not. I'm going to tell you. Crystal Skull Metatron serves as a mechanism for harmonizing all of these codes, a metaphor, if you will, as well as a citrine 40-pound crystal skull that focalizes, makes it really easy to imagine, for example, the interior of your skull lighting up with a brilliant, bright, white light. Feel the volume turning up in that. Feel that Metatronic field activating. Turning it up, tuning it in. Ooh, nice big breaths here. Allowing your energy field to really begin to expand out. And feeling now all of those, if you were imagining the boardroom, now feeling the Metatronic cube. So we are going dimensional. We are going into 6th-dimensional space, the geometries. So imagining each of those codes that are being governed now orbiting around you like little orbs orbiting, little balls of light. And you can feel the action, your masculine, your feminine, those interpersonal, the communication. You can feel that code of miracles pulsing just above your head, and that healing code, both in the earth and now in you, right? The healing code, when you tune into that, that should feel like it's just above, because the earth, while she's here to heal, you are your own star system. So when you are activated, you run all your own healing codes. This is that frequency. Your own atmosphere is activating right now. If we were to check your waves, probably be a little bit of scalar if you're really, really practiced in this. That is divine source connection, pure to source. What is the Metatron? The Metatron is the supernal cosmic mind. So as you envision these orbs, you're seeing your first layer of the mind. It is a neural network of consciousness. It is the 72. So observe now the next layer out of orbs, but you didn't know they were there till I made you look. It should look like the cosmos collapsing in on you. 72 fathers, as they're called, activating outside of your own intrapersonal neural network. These fathers representing your star-seeded consciousness. All of these orbs, it's so cool. So cool. Feeling that neural connectivity. We are mapping it right now. This is what Crystal Skull Metatron supports us with. Again, it focalizes and helps us map it. And if you are curious about your codes, have an incredible reading we can have those conversations on. But right now, I just want you focusing in on this. Focus in, feel it, feel them activating, feel the energy centers activating. You may even start to see some colors floating around you. And in a moment, we're going to put them to work. You are becoming the Metatron, the full spectrum of light. The Metatron, the supernal cosmic mind. Yes, we know Metatron is an archangel. If you want to call it in that very human sense, you may. And you may even see it, sense it, feel it. You may find you have a staff in your hand. Go ahead and take that staff and pound it into the ground. Take a stand for your field, your energy, your divine light. You are a star seed. You are human. You are soul. You are doing it. You are doing life. You are brilliant. All right, so go ahead now and we're going to let this field of energy start to move. Your human mind is not going to know how to do this, so don't even try. Just send the command, like release. Actually, you know what? How we're going to do this? I want you to reach down to that dimmer switch in the blind and flip that thing all the way up. Like just go. Like we've compressed it, we've pushed it down, and then launch, like release the spring. And as you release that spring, you should most likely feel like some kind of a popping or a surge, especially through your tailbone, a bunch of energy surging up the back through the top of the mind, exploding out like a geyser, and all of those orbs now going infinitely fast. Let them move infinitely fast in wave form. Here come the timeline conversation. Infinitely fast, so fast, all you can sense is this swirling energy around you. And then 3, 2, 1, pause. Suspend it outside of space and time. Breathe. Suspend. And release it again. Infinitely fast. And notice how you are both in time and timeless, hovering, hovering, hovering. Breathing in, breathing out. Coming into your body now, allowing your Metatronic consciousness to show you. Much like the crystal skull has become much more illuminated, so has the interior of your mind. Allowing it now to come through that ruby flame, through the threshold, and this energy to begin to soak in like a sponge into your bones, into your cells, into your DNA. Allowing it to begin to, like a geyser, burst through your DNA. Big myth there that it's down and in. Even though we speak to it, it's also up and through the cells, through the spine. Ah, who is feeling alive? Go ahead and bring this mapping pattern. You don't need to understand it, just the Metatronic cube swirling around, may even look like a flower of life. You are activating the protons in your body. You are bringing them into coherence. This is dimensional coherence right now. We are activated. We are running pure source flame simultaneously in the 3D physical real world, reality. Go ahead and pause again. Suspend time. Timelessness. That is you in your own atmosphere. And exhaling out. Love it. Oh, we could stay here all day, couldn't we? Alas, we've come to the end of our journey. Let's go ahead and get this to soak all the way in. I want to have you call upon your ruby flame. That is our field of DNA, just ensuring much like we're going to unclog the DNA from the inside out. So oftentimes we imagine energy running down and through the spine, through the pipes, that golden light. I want to have you imagine every cell, every little strand of DNA, every helix popping open. Boom, pops open. And through it, that geyser of this light pours out, pushing out the density, pushing out low frequency emotions that are spinning slow. Remember, emotions control our spin. You're spinning way too fast right now to have too much density in there. So let those be flushed out, much like a washer on spin cycle. All the water gets pushed out. You want to pull out all of that luminescent light until all the muddy water is flushed out to the outside. Oh, that feels good. That DNA field, clearing it from the inside out, cleaning the helixes. All right. You heard it here first. I think that we're going to call that a helix flush. Another mind hack. That's what we are up to. When we're running our Metatronic frequency, we are doing shortcut codes, right? These are shortcut codes. You guys did it. You just jammed in here. We all have shortcut codes. I happen to have Metatronic shortcut codes. You guys are developing them. Again, this is heart intelligence that needs to be curated. It is your heart mind we are running that is syncing up. And when it is full on, it is merging. The Metatron is the convergence of the heart and the gut and the mind itself, right? All of the intelligence. 10 trillion bits of information per millisecond in our gut, 60,000 thoughts per day, maybe like 4 bytes, I think is what it comes to. No correlation until today, until now. You're running your Metatronic fields. I bet if they were to put some wires on us and sync it up, it would be way higher capacity for bandwidth because you guys are brilliant. Go ahead and observe the field, observe this group. Even though you probably don't know anyone else in here, like feel this energy. Notice how you are outside of space and time, so you can also feel all of the future watches, all the future connections, everyone coming in as they catch the recording as well. Pretty brilliant fields, isn't it? Love it. You guys are amazing. Amazing, amazing. With that, we're going to give our blessings to the Metatron, to each of you as you own your own Metatronic fields. Namaste. So much love. Making your way back in, go ahead, take a hello, gaze upon Crystal Skull Metatron for just a moment. Pretty brilliant. It is magic. Can't see, so I'm going to try and do this. There it is. Good stuff. Bringing in some codes, focalizing the light. All right, my loves, make it a brilliant day.